Aloha, guys. I am currently here with the director for the West Hawaii Small Business Development Center. I am very, very excited that he's here talking to you guys, talking to the audience about how to get a job here in Hawaii, which is very, very challenging at times. And, for the people that are moving, for the people that are watching, welcome. Welcome to this platform. We're happy that you're here. So Dennis is going to share with you guys what does the Small Business Development Center does for local businesses and for people that are wanting to make the Big Island their home. So aloha, guys. We have viewers. Hey. So Dennis, if you would like to share with the public, what is it that your organization does for the island?
Okay. Aloha, everybody. And I'm based in Kailua, Kona. And as Maly said, I'm the director of the West Hawaii Small Business Development Center. And so we divide the island of Hawaii in half. And I do the west half and my staff, and there's an office on the east side as well. So what we do is help businesses get started. We help people find financing for their businesses, help them write business plans, help them with product rollouts, site acquisitions, human resources management kinds of issues, just the gamut of things that a small business can run into. And in doing that, I run into businesses that are seeking employees. Which is why Maly asked me to talk about this today with her. So, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. I mostly work with small businesses, as I said. Businesses are trying to start or to expand. But I do connect a lot of people all the time. So if I hear of a business that's looking for a particular skill and I get a call from somebody who's looking for a job or exploring opportunities, I can say, hey, I just heard about somebody who's looking for a job. So that's kind of the resource I can be for finding a job here in Hawaii.
That is beautiful advice because, we do get a lot of those questions by people that are wanting to make Hawaii their home. Mm-hmm. And they are really sometimes have this impression that it's so easy to get a job on the island. It's so easy, and so those are the conversations that I have almost on a daily basis. We have, Dennis and I, we have divided this into 4 categories of people that are wanting a job in Hawaii. So we're going to outline 4 scenarios that we have. So people that know, so there are 4 scenarios that we encounter on the islands. People that know a lot of local people and can get employed. So those are local boys, local girls. They know auntie, uncle, everybody.
Right. Everybody's got a relative. Everybody used to work with somebody. Everybody's cousin used to work with somebody. Everybody knows everybody.
So those people get a job any day because they're connected. They're connected with the community. They give back. They know everybody. They have put in their time. Right, and so they it's very easy for those people to get employed. The other category that we have is people that have a company that operates already or can operate in Hawaii and are looking to relocate or work remotely.
Right, and that's where I come in. I get those not a ton of those companies, but I do get those companies that California had one recently. And they relocated here, and they wanted to know, how do things work here? What do I need to do to register? What are the marketing outlets? What's the labor force like? Just how does the tax structure work for general excise tax, which is a unique Hawaii thing we've got. If you've got a company that's operating on the mainland somewhere and you're bringing that expertise here to Hawaii, that's great. That's what we want to see. Or if you're working for a company on the mainland in a particular field for somebody and you want to take that skill you have and open your own company here in Hawaii, that's another avenue that people take frequently.
That is awesome. And as touching bases, Dennis, Jesus, he oversees the entire West Hawaii operation, and he does talk to a lot of businesses that are wanting to operate in Hawaii. So he's an amazing resource, and people don't know that your resources are free.
Oh yeah, we don't charge for our services.
No.
I used to say you get what you pay for, but not.
No.
We don't charge because we're funded by the Small Business Administration
Yeah.
and by the University of Hawaii. We're located at the University of Hawaii. The other part of our funding is the state of Hawaii.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's just an amazing resource. I cannot recommend Dennis enough. Every time that I get an inquiry of somebody that wants to open a business in Hawaii or wants to, get, more ideas on how to operate their current business, Dennis, always sending people to Dennis.
Well, that's part of that networking that goes on here, where she knows somebody who knows somebody.
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you need help, Dennis is your boy. So now let's go on to the third category. Okay. Let's go on to the third category is people that are moving to Hawaii in hopes to find a job. And that is a category that is very challenging for those people that are wanting to make Hawaii their home and have no job, no employment. What will you say to those people?
Boy, if you don't have some skill or some significant work history you can bring here, especially now, you're gonna have a tough time.
Yeah.
As you know, maybe I hope. We're heavily tourist dependent, and here in the midst of this pandemic, our tourism is way down. So those server jobs at the restaurants are gone. All those aid kinds of jobs you find in the hotels, they're way cut. So if you're looking to just come here and find any old job like that, it's not going to happen. You've got to be more targeted than that.
Exactly. Yeah, and what are the industries that you see that are suffering the most, or what are the industries that are excelling?
Okay, I thought you were going there first. On the suffering, it's the tourism. So it's anything to do with tourism. Although the restaurants are coming back lately, just really recently, I've noticed. But the retail is down. The tourist shops are down. The tour operators are down. So the people who take people out to see the whales or snorkel or go up the mountain or those kind of things, they're way down, as well as of course the hotels. The things that are thriving are the businesses that the locals use. So car repair, plumbing, electricians, electrical contractors, anything to do with housing. Anything to do with the real estate market.
Yeah.
Appraisers are going through the roof right now. I'm trying to buy a condo as an investment, and you cannot get, well, you can get an appraiser, but it's way out there, and the money is more than you want to spend. So I think the key for people is to sort of do a little research before and talk to people and see what businesses or what sectors of the industry are looking for skilled labor. I know for a fact that for recruiting auto technicians, some companies are going to the mainland and recruiting because they can't find those people here. Yeah.
And you know what? And to your point, and as far as the real estate market goes, having skills that like electricians, appraisers, plumbers, people that are skilled in those areas, this industry right now is going through a huge boom. And so that those could be like trades that it could be utilized on the island. If you have those skills, you can, come on down and help us out because appraisers, as you know, they're out.
Yeah.
They're same with survey companies and stakers and all that. But that was a great point. And now we're going to go on to our fourth category, which are people that operate in a professional trade on them. Okay, we already touched
well, a little bit, but I think the point I wanted to make that people who are in a trade or a profession on the mainland don't think you can automatically bring that here. So if your trade requires some sort of licensure, like, an accountant or a contractor or a barber or a beautician, there probably isn't reciprocity from your state to Hawaii. So you really do need to do your homework and check first with our professional and vocational license division at the Department of Commerce and Consumer Affairs. Those are the people that regulate all the things that need licenses. And there's just a vast array of things that need licenses, from massage therapists to, doctors and physical therapists, and just a whole bunch of things. Just to see what the barriers are to you getting into that employment here. I know somebody who's an accountant on the mainland and came here to try to be an accountant, and there's no reciprocity across state lines in Hawaii for accountants. So you're sort of back at the back of the line. So you do need to do your due diligence, and you need to check with those resources I just mentioned to see what you got to do to be able to practice your trade here in Hawaii.
Wow. And that is so true. Like, I was approached by an esthetician, and her licensing, like, her license doesn't transfer. She needs to go through like the whole the licensing requirements for Hawaii.
Right.
And so there's so many trades that, you're right, they go through that transitional phase. And then you also have to take that into account when you're moving, right? I mean, how long is it going to take me for to transfer those courses, or those how do you call it? The requirements for my license. Like, how long is that going to take? And then make the jump to Hawaii. Now, what are some sites that people can utilize to search for a job here on the islands, and particularly here on the Big Island? And what are the most successful sites that you can share with the audience?
Well, we listed a few when we were brainstorming this. HireNet,
Hawaii, yeah.
Hawaii, Hawaii Workforce, Infonet. You can go to the large institutions like the University of Hawaii. They have their own site. You can go to Helco. They have their own. That's the electric company. They have their own sites. The grocery stores, KTA, Safeway, Times is a big chain on Oahu, not here. They're going to have their own sites where they're listing their own the jobs. But I think because it's such a relational marketplace here, and people get jobs because of where they are at one particular time, the use of the internet is not, as a tool for finding a job, is not necessarily as strong as it might be on the mainland.
Great point.
I think you can also go to Craigslist. And I think this Facebook.
And Facebook Marketplace, yeah. Facebook Marketplace, that's one of the ones that are most popular on the island. Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, but to Dennis' point, there are companies that only advertise on their websites. Like you mentioned, KTL, the big supermarket, Safeway, when they have openings on accounting or management, or or other positions.
Meat cutting.
Meat cutting.
Yeah, it's a big
it's
deal.
A thing.
That's a big deal job.
Yes. Yeah. So we encourage you guys to look at those websites for employment. HireNet Hawaii, it's one that it's an equal opportunity employer program that is offered for the state of Hawaii. They have also lots of employment openings. Yeah.
Stuff too. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The newspapers are not very good. I don't know that they are anywhere anymore,
No.
but it's not such a great resource.
No. Now, how is the online industry impacting the way people are getting hired in Hawaii?
Well, people, especially now this time of the pandemic, I'm pretty sure it's the same as it is with real estate.
Yeah.
People are interviewing online, just like you're previewing a house online.
Yeah.
I've heard of more and more houses that are being sold sight unseen, which is kind of mind-blowing to me, but it happens quite regularly.
That's true.
Yeah. So your agent goes around with their little webcam, and there you go.
We're having a lot of that. A lot of that is happening throughout the island. Let's see. So how can people research what is required for the position? Or what are a couple of things that people can, kind of brainstorm what to ask that employer? Average salary. Where can they go for this type of information? Like average salary, like the top 10 employers. is there like a specific website or
I
that's
don't know if there's,
yeah.
and in terms of the top 10 employers and things like that, we're really a state of small business. So the top 10 employers, there's probably top 5 employers. The electric company, the state, the county, the usual kind of suspects. Um, it's really the job growth, I think, is more in the small companies because everybody's a small company here pretty much by and large. And how to find out what the answers to those questions you're asking is obviously go to the source. And I think, I had to find a job coming here from the mainland. Call those people up who are posting on the internet and ask them, if you're not seeing things that are evident in the ad or in the posting, call up and ask and say, hey, I was looking at this job and I'm interested, but I'm trying to evaluate how it fits into my lifestyle. Can you tell me a bit about the salary range and the salary progression or just something? People here are generally willing to talk to people. Really are.
That is, and that brings a great point because that's what I tell people when they approach me, when they have a question on very specific. So, in this kind of going a little bit off topic, but I do get a lot of inquiries for like people that are wanting to do like off the grid, right? And there's so many resources that you got to do. It's like contact the Tiny Living, the people that build tiny home structures, the solar panels and all that. So and I tell them you call and they're gonna pick up the phone and they're gonna talk story to you.
Yeah.
Like they will talk to you. So same goes with the employers, as Dennis was saying, that don't be afraid that there's a posting and you don't know what to do. Just call them up. Just call them up, figure out the details, figure out the pay, figure out the requirements for the job and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people, talk story is what we do here. It just means chat.
Just chat. Talk story. Chat. Talk story.
That's what we're doing here.
Talk story. Yes. So let's talk about cost of living.
Ooh. Whatever you heard about how expensive it is, it's more expensive.
It is expensive.
I think the only people I run into that say Hawaii is not a bargain, but is reasonable, are people from the Bay Area. Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that just blows me away that people think this is reasonable. But we pay a lot more for groceries. Everything comes on a boat or on a plane. Figure it out. So to every bottle of orange juice is attached a plane fare, and that adds up.
Eggs, milk, all the most frequently bought items.
We do have Costco.
We do have Costco. Thank God.
Yeah.
But just be prepared. Just be prepared for that situation when you're wanting to make the Big Island your home and you're finding a job. Know that the cost of living is something that you're going to have to take into account. It is higher than other places. And that is a cost of paradise. Cost of living in paradise. You just have to forecast for that. And
there's variation among the islands too, particularly in the cost of housing. So the Big Island is the most reasonable housing cost.
That is true. Out of all the islands, Molokai, Maui.
Molokai too?
Well, yeah, Molokai counts.
No, I know it counts.
Don't leave Molokai behind.
No, I don't know what the cost of housing is in Molokai.
No.
I don't think many people migrate there.
No, Molokai is it's a tiny island.
Yeah. But Oahu housing prices are way higher here in Kauai too.
In Kauai too, exactly. Yeah,
we're
still more.
We're low. I mean, that's what I said. We're the low.
You're right.
Yeah.
We're on the lower end.
The reasonable.
The reasonable end. But still, sometimes I'll say that if you're wanting to explore the island more in detail, come and make a trip to the grocery store. Just kind of like assess, like, what would it take for me to live here? What will we got some likes. Aloha, guys. Thank you for your hearts and your thumbs up. Thank you so much. Make a trip to the grocery store, KTA, Sack and Save. even Costco, and just kind of make your cost analysis that way, because it's hard. When they say, well, how expensive is it? Well, come over and see. Come
Yeah.
over, and because there's no pricing list online of, okay, milk costs this much, and eggs, and
Well, there's that cost of living indicators.
there's a cost of living
you can
calculator.
find.
Yes,
I
those
don't know
are,
how
yeah, they're
accurate they are.
well, yeah, I guess. Yeah, that could be another tool. But just gather, hey guys, thank you. Thank you so much for liking this video. I'm very honored that you guys are here listening to Dennis, Boyd, and I talking about how to get a job here in Hawaii. So basically, those are your resources. Cost of living is higher. And
Utilities are higher.
Utilities are higher.
Way higher.
Way higher. Electricity, sometimes people get surprised by the cost of electricity. Able to talk about the living in different areas. I'm reading a comment from Chase. Able to talk about the living in different areas on the island, like housing prices versus Kona side and south side or north. Yes, we can. Okay, well, perhaps when we are done talking about how to find the job in Hawaii, we'll connect, Chase. Moving on with getting a job here in Hawaii, connecting with local communities and finding a job in Hawaii. How important is that for the people that are new to the island?
It's everything.
Essential.
It's everything, because we mentioned earlier, it's all about connection here. It's all about networking. So if you can tap into networks, maybe networks that are somewhat similar to what you're involved with back on the mainland. So the Chamber of Commerce, for example, is a really good network. And, just truth in advertising, I'm on the board of the Kona Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
But there's the Kona Chamber of Commerce. There's on the west side, the Hawaii Island Chamber of Commerce on the east side, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce on the east side, Native Hawaiian Chamber of Commerce. There's a number of those. Professional organizations or Rotary, Lions Club.
Lions Club, yeah.
Those kinds of things. BNI, Business Networking International. It says international, I suppose they're all over the place. Those are groups of business owners who refer to each other, but they allow guests to come twice without joining. So you could come and really get a flavor for the business environment by going to one of those things. There's 3 of them. I think there's 3 in Kona, 1 in Waimea. I don't know how many in Hilo. So there's a number of those. That would be a good way to do it.
Good way. You know what? And I think that when people are researching, they don't see that far out. And so I'm thankful that you have recommended those resources, because, like BNI, that's one that, not a whole lot of people know about.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a good...
Yeah, and in one group you can talk to or see interaction among 30 businesses.
Exactly.
So that's
and that is heavily just a referral business, right? Like that's what they're all about.
They're all about referrals.
Referrals, yeah. So that could be a great way to connect.
Yeah.
But the Japanese Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like resources that are like not like, they don't pop up like every single time somebody searches for this information. So that's a great recommendation.
And when life gets back to normal, I know in our chamber we have monthly after hours, which is a small charge for that, and it's a networking event, a couple drinks, some poo-poos, and pass your business cards around. Those are open to the public too.
Right, those were great.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that we can get back to normal. We got another question by Debbie Shields. My husband is a master welder, and we are discussing moving our business there.
Ooh,
yes.
Call me. Check out our website. It's hisbdc.org.
And it's free.
And what you do is you click on the link, register for one-on-one business advice, and that pops you up in my system, and I'll give you a call. And we set up a time to talk.
Yeah. He's Dennis, great wealth of knowledge, and he's always game to help businesses that need his assistance. So now, yeah, that's my job. Okay, so we are going to move on to talk about. Oh, look, this one. So, what is in the horizon for
Oh,
Hawaii?
yeah. This is this I thought was a pretty good idea. I came up with it. In this time of pandemic, we've been forced here in Hawaii more than most places, I think, to really look at sustainability and how we're going to survive into this century.
Yeah.
We just can't rely on tourism because something happens at one other part of the world and tourism shuts down.
Yeah.
So we're looking to become more self-sufficient. So there are a number of industries that are and initiatives that are on the move in Hawaii to help us reach that. Alternative energy is very big here.
Mhm.
I think we're on tap to be by 2040 or 2045, I think, 100% renewable in our energy sources. So I work at the Natural Energy Lab of Hawaii, and that's all about deep sea water energy production and things like that. So if you're involved in that field, this is a good place for you. If you're involved in aquaculture, this is a great place for you. Broadband initiatives. We're pretty sketchy right now on our broadband coverage, but there's a big initiative to make that more accessible to the island. So those kind of things, sort of hop on that train and come with us as we sort of move forward.
That's such a great piece of advice. I don't think that's advertised enough at this point. I hope that they.
Yeah. And one other industry, medical. Anything medical
is booming at the moment right now.
Because we have a great need there in those areas.
Any niche in particular, or just medical in general?
Doctors.
Any medical doctors.
Doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, physician's assistants, you name it.
Bring it. Okay, so now let's continue to talk about you plan to live on 6 months with no income.
Well, that was your idea, not mine.
Hey, you gotta come in prepared. You cannot come in.
You gotta come in prepared.
You gotta come in prepared. Worst comes to worst. You're here and you cannot find employment, and then what happens? You gotta be prepared. You have to have a cushion to.
You know what? Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. What I would advise though is that if you're thinking about moving here, take a chunk of time. If you can afford a month, take a sabbatical or leave of absence.
Yeah.
And come here before you quit your day job.
Great advice.
Check it out and see what it feels like.
Yeah.
Because I know I'm from Denver and I read in the paper today they got 15 inches of snow yesterday. Damn. I know sitting there it looks pretty good here in our sunshine, but you got to come here and really live it and feel it and see if it fits for you.
Wow, man, that's golden advice.
Yeah.
Why quit before? Why? So we're gonna rechange this whole thing. Don't quit your job yet.
No, don't give it up yet.
Don't give it up yet. Exactly, because that's great advice. Just take a sabbatical, come in, check things out, rent out for a while, and see if it works.
See what it feels like.
So we got another question by Chase. Recommendations on where for job listings. Wife is looking. She is a women's health nurse practitioner. Not much listed on your traditional Google listings.
Yes. Kona Hospital.
Directly to the source, like you said.
Directly to the source. Kona Hospital, Ali'i Health, ALII, North Hawaii Community Hospital, which is a part of the Queens Medical Center. Hilo Medical Center. Midwifery is a big deal here.
That too.
They're affiliated with the hospital. So, did you say women's health?
Yeah,
we didn't say obstetrics. Women's health.
I mean, Chase, if you want to provide more insight on what your wife is looking at, we might be able to help out. But
all those venues, I think.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of them, but they're looking.
And you know what? And that's great. I'm coming. month for a temp test out with the company that is hiring me. We hope that that interview goes amazing.
Cool.
So so I think to Dennis's point, going directly to the source, and especially if you're in the medical field, if you don't see openings posted on Indeed, Craigslist, go check out the hospital. Call them up and see if they have any openings, or if they know of any openings. Call the receptionist.
Yeah, I guarantee if you call and say you're a nurse practitioner thinking to move, looking for a job, you will get a call back.
Yes.
I guarantee you.
Yeah, so I mean, for any medical doctors or anybody watching this video that specializes in the medical field, call the hospitals. If you don't see any of the listings, they might be, overwhelmed with the job, or they might be understaffed, or, God knows, right? That sometimes people don't get to post the jobs online or somewhere, Indeed or Monster. What's the name? No, not Monster Inc. No, that's the movie.
No, I think it is Monster. Isn't it Monster?
I remember.
Whatever.
Yeah, but you get it right. So I think that going straight to the source will only benefit you and your family. Okay, so we're moving on with the questions. What will you quickly discover in Hawaii is that everyone knows everyone. Okay, so we already talked about, right? Yeah. Go for it.
Back up.
Right here.
Go to our cheat sheet there.
Is there a lot of new construction going on? Yes. No, Waikoloa and a little bit of Kona. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot, like, of new construction, but...
Well, construction industry is the one industry that hasn't had a big dip in the pandemic.
Exactly. But new construction, there's a lot of new construction happening in Hilo. There's vacant lots. Yeah. Yeah. There's some areas up in Leilani Estates. Leilani Estates. There's a lot of people. So a little bit of background on Leilani Estates. The lava, right, happened in 2018, and so we see a lot of new construction around that area. It's Lava Zone 1. Very difficult to insure, and I personally wouldn't recommend anybody to live there. But a lot of new construction, a lot of new houses, and a lot of new construction in Hilo. Kona,
not so much in Kona.
Waikoloa is picking up, but Kona every now and then. Chase, autocorrect, coming Wednesday for a month to work with Hawaii Nautical as a boat captain. Nice.
Oh, you know what we need is boat mechanics. If you're in that industry at all.
Boat mechanics.
I forget the where it stands, but our harbor here is one of the larger private boat harbors in the state. If not the largest, I can't remember.
If not the largest,
I can't remember. But we need people.
Well, Chase, there you have it. Hopefully things work out with this company, but this information that Dennis just shared, that boat mechanics are in demand at the moment.
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah, and we wish you luck and congratulations on scoring an interview with them.
But what I wanted to tell people that, depending on wherever they want to move in the state, and here's my other plug for the SBDC, contact the office on that island.
Yes.
Also, if like the people who are planning on relocating their business, contact your local SBDC office. There's almost 1,000 of them across the country, and see how they can help you get started on what you need to start on, financing or whatever, before you move here, or before you try it out here, trial or whatever you're going to do.
That is so. Yes to all of that. Because I love the SBDC, as you know, adore it.
She does.
So yeah, I do. Genuinely, I love the SBDC. It helps many businesses thrive. They have many programs. So don't think that this is only island that is localized. It's all over the mainland. You guys can contact your SBDC all over the mainland, and then or perhaps if you're already a member affiliated with the SBDC up in Ohio or California, you guys can probably transfer that conversation to you.
Sure, and those counselors, consultants can call us.
Yeah.
And we can, talk about what they need
transferring.
to do and how to segue over here.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful advice. So now we're going back to our quickly, which is um, mm, mm, mm. embrace the culture, embracing the Hawaiian culture.
Okay.
So when moving to the island, and you're wanting to, find a job and get situated with the community, embracing the Hawaiian culture will get you farther than you could ever imagine. If you come in with a different attitude, right? Pushy or demanding. Many businesses out here operate on what we call Hawaii time. They're more laid back. Their regulation might not be the same as on the mainland. People might not come in on time, right on the dot. They might not pick up the phone. They might, call in sick the next day. And so just adapting, if you're coming into in management positions, you might encounter that in your workplace. So coming in to embrace a culture, because I know of people that, they things don't work out. People come in with a very harsh attitude, and they don't fit in with the culture, and then they end up unemployed. So you don't want that, right? You make this huge move, you moved your entire life, and then you get fired because you couldn't embrace the culture. So just be mindful of how the Hawaii culture.
I'm laughing about this because I was late getting here, and I got a whole boatload of grief from you for doing that. And here she is telling us to chill.
No. But employers, right? Your employees, because it's different.
Well,
you and I are friends.
Yeah,
and
well.
we're like, hey, no. But employers, right?
Your employer does want you to show up on time.
Yeah.
But, it's just the general pace of things is a little bit slower, and it's different.
Very.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a culture shock sometimes to people, that come in and they see, that things are more laid back. So, I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah, I also
to just keep in the back of your mind.
I also think each island is real different, and the sections of each island are real different. So Kona is really different than Hilo.
Very true.
We're different, way different than the South and Puna.
What will you say that will be the biggest differentiator between those two?
Hilo is more old family, more insulated, insular maybe. They probably don't want me to. Not happy that I say that, but people have lived in Hilo for years and years and years.
That is true.
It's really strong Japanese culture there. Kona is more mainland oriented. Puna is more people who want to get off the grid. North Hawaii is people want to get off the grid, but maybe have higher demographic, more income. I think up there.
That's true. Well, I think those key points will only benefit you when you're looking for a job and wanting to learn more about the culture. I think that it's a good starting point. I mean, it's not definite what we're saying, repeat. It's not but it's something that we have personally encountered, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just passing it on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Totally. Right.
Just passing it on. Okay, so embracing the culture. Let's see. Okay, so sorry, we're going through our sheet of questions. So can you get volcano insurance? And if so, is it expensive? You can.
Okay.
But yes, there's only one person
who has it or gives it.
Hey Dave, we have to have a conversation about that because okay, so there is one person that insures Lava Zone 1, but so here's why I tell people that are wanting to look into those type of scenarios. If you are okay with the lava taking all of it away, proceed, because it could happen. We don't know when. We don't have a magic ball in front of us. We don't know when we're going to have another disaster like Leilani states. But to your question, yes, there's one person that insures. Hi, guys. Thank you for the love and the hearts. It's real in some areas. Yeah, so lava is real. We've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
It's very real. It just happened 3 years ago. And people lost everything. So if you are, and this is what I tell my clients, if you're willing to just kiss your money goodbye and you're at peace with that investment, there's one person that insures Lava Zone 1, and I don't know if he sleeps at night.
Well, I almost might say, why would you get insurance if you feel that way, if you're willing to let it all go?
Yeah, but hey, you know what? Hey, there are people that want to get into Lava Zone 1, and that
must be really expensive.
It is very expensive. It is expensive. It's triple the price as regular insurance because it's triple the risk. So to your question, yes, there is somebody that insures.
Good to know.
Yes.
No, because I was talking to a bank today about a client who was looking for property down in Ocean View, and he said, "Isn't that Lava Zone 2?"
Right.
And
they wouldn't lend. Yeah,
down there. So.
It's difficult to get, and it's very property dependent. Like there's a lot of regulations that that are in place. It's very, very hard, but there is
Okay.
insurance. There's hope.
I learned something. Good.
Yeah. Yes. So no worries, Dave. So if there's any other questions that relate, we have like 10 viewers right now. Aloha, guys. If there's any other questions that you guys have for Dennis and I, we're here to answer and help out. But any final thoughts for people that are wanting to come to Hawaii and make it their home and look for a job? And
just that we have a lot of needs in the workforce. So if you can contribute to the community by filling those needs, we would love to have you here. It's a great place to live. Right?
Look at us. We're happy.
We're happy.
Yeah, it is truly paradise, guys. And if you can, go through this video. You can, as soon as we hit, as soon as we're gonna posse this video, you can go back and re-listen to it and kind of take some notes, because we did drop like very, very helpful information for you all, hoping that you guys enjoy it and connect with Dennis and his association. Yeah. Hey.
We're done. We're done?
I guess. Hey, guys. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for being here. And so I don't see any further questions at the moment. But if you would like, thank you for that heart. Thank you for that heart. I hope that you have a beautiful day. Thank you for tuning in. And we'll be in touch.
We're going to go watch the sunset.
We're going to go watch the sunset.
Under the palms.
Yes. And we have the most magical sunsets ever.
Yeah.
I mean, Kona sunsets. I don't know if you guys, if you visited 3 years ago and fell in love, we're thinking about it after the Judds move out. What do you mean, Dave? after the clouds, we're thinking about it after the Jets move out.
Kids.
Oh, the kids.
Kids? Sounds like. Okay.
Well, thank you so much for watching and for being here.
Thank you.
And aloha.
Aloha.